The Premier League is here, and it's the games just before Christmas. They're going to be coming very thick and fast now. I did miss last week. I did do some predictions, but I was too ill to record. And to be honest, I'm doing this one now as I have only just started feeling better today, really. So we'll see how we get on. I can tell you that last weekend, out of the 10 games, I got 2 results correct and 8 completely wrong. Now, I think I can kind of forgive myself for that because when you've got Arsenal drawing with Everton, Man United going away to City and beating them, and then what else happened that was a bit of a strange one? I mean, Ipswich beat Wolves away as well. Brighton lost at home to Palace. So there were lots of strange results in there. Liverpool played Fulham, didn't win. Yeah, it was a weird weekend. Hopefully it's back to some sort of normality this weekend. So we'll get into it. As you can see, the table here, Liverpool only 2 points ahead of Chelsea now. Now Liverpool do have a game in hand against Everton, but they've drawn their last 2. Obviously drawing with Fulham after Andy Robertson got sent off very early on. It was a good comeback from Liverpool to get it, and they probably could have won it near the end, but yeah, more drop points. And Chelsea look very, very good at the moment. So Chelsea look like they are the ones that are in the title race with Liverpool, which, I mean, everyone expected Man City v Arsenal. So the fact that we seem to have Liverpool v Chelsea at the moment is very refreshing. Now, let's take a look near the bottom of the table. You will see Wolves and Southampton, 19th and 20th, have just both sacked their managers. Gary O'Neill out of Wolves after losing to Ipswich, which was a game he couldn't afford to lose. He really had to win. And Southampton lost against Spurs. It was 5-0 in the end. So, yeah, Russell Martin gone as well. Wolves have... I'm pretty sure they have announced that they've got Aitor in. He managed Porto previously and won the Portuguese league with them. Then he went over to Saudi, and Wolves have got him from Saudi. Don't know too much about him. Think it's a bit of a risky appointment. I think when you've got a manager like David Moyes just sitting there out of a job at the moment, I'd be going for him. In a situation they're in, David Moyes will stabilise the club. He'll get you much better defensively, and he's not going to get you into the top half, but he will keep you in the Premier League. I'd be 90% sure he'd keep them there. So, yeah, strange one. Southampton, I think they're down anyway. I think we've all kind of admitted that before even the first game was played. So, yeah, I'm surprised they didn't stay with Russell Martin just because of what he was, the style of football he was implementing. But it's a case of maybe he needs to adapt the way he plays because they're now in the Premier League. But what manager wants to change their philosophy based on who they're playing? You just want to play the way that you know how to play, don't you? So it's always a tough one for these teams that come up and have a very unique style of play. Like Southampton, they want all the ball. That's how they play. Whereas a lot of teams that come up from the Championship and manage to stay up tend to not really care about having a lot of the ball or a lot of passes. They are very happy to hit on the counter, and it works for them. So, yeah, interesting one there. If we go down to the fixtures, and I'm going to whiz through these quite quickly. We start with Villa Man City. It does kick off in 15 minutes because I am very late to the party this week. Villa Man City, tough to call. City obviously in awful form. I think they've won 1 in their last 10 games or something crazy. Villa, a little bit hit and miss. I'm going to go for a draw. I'll go 1-1. Brentford Forest. Brentford are at home, which means they're likely to win. I feel like every time, this might not be true, but every time Brentford are at home, I tend to go for a 3-2 win for them. So we'll do it again. Brentford to beat Forest 3-2. Ipswich v Newcastle. Now, Newcastle have picked up a couple of decent results lately. I mean, they tore Leicester apart, and they won in the Cup as well against Brentford to get through to the semi-final. I think Newcastle will edge this 2-1. West Ham Brighton. Now, this one... Brighton were in such a good spell and now they've kind of fell out of it a little bit. So I'm actually going to go for a draw, 1-1. Palace Arsenal. I think Arsenal will drop points again. Palace in some pretty decent form if we actually take a quick look. Palace's recent form, they are unbeaten in 5. So they drew with Villa, drew with Newcastle, beat Ipswich away, drew with Man City, beat Brighton away. So some brilliant points there for Palace to pick up. Means that I'm going to go for a 1-1. This fixture actually happened in midweek, but the teams were quite heavily rotated. Arsenal ended up winning it 3-2 in the Cup and getting to the semi-final. But yeah, on to Sunday. Everton-Chelsea. Now Everton, recently, have been a bit better defensively since Jared Brantwaite has came back into the team. So, they drew 0-0 with Arsenal. They beat Wolves 4-0. Yes, they lost 4-0 to Man United, but before that, they drew 0-0 with Brentford, drew 0-0 with West Ham. Losing to Southampton does 1-0 isn't a display of good defensive ability. But, yeah, so other than that Man United loss, 4 clean sheets in their last 5 games. Very good going. Chelsea, we know they like to score a lot of goals. They're the top scorers in the division now, I believe. 37. How many Spurs and Brentford scored? Yeah, Spurs 36. So Chelsea are the top scorers in the division. And look at that form. They just keep winning. So I'm going to go... When you see Chelsea-Everton, you might be tempted to go, all out. I'm going to go 1-0 to Chelsea because Everton are quite good defensively. Fulham-Southampton, I'll go for 2-1 to Fulham. Even though Southampton might have a bit of a bounce because of changing manager. Yeah, I'm going to go for 2-1 to Fulham. Leicester-Wolves, we will go for... This is tough. Do we go for a bit of a bounce here as well? Does it tell us managers in lineups? Yes. Yeah, so, not Aitor, Vitor Pereira is in. And Van Nistelrooy obviously fairly new as well. We will go for a 2-1 win to Wolves. We're going to say that it works out straight away. It's a game they really could do with winning as well, because if they don't win it, or if Leicester beat them, it plunges them even further from safety. Man United Bournemouth, Amad Diallo, what a player. Saw what he did against Man City with that late turnaround, winning the penalty because of determination. Then making a brilliant run and managing to get onto a ball that was maybe he shouldn't have managed to get onto, slotting it past the keeper. City couldn't clear it off the line with Gvardiol, and what a turnaround. How he didn't get much game time under Ten Hag, I will never know. He looks like their best player. So, Man United, Bournemouth are a tricky customer, but we're going to go Man United to win 3-2. Bit of an odd one. Spurs Liverpool, this always seems like an exciting game, and Spurs always do better when they're playing better opposition. Obviously, they wipe the floor with Southampton, but when they trip up, you expect it to be against the kind of mid to low table team. Whereas against the top sides, Spurs, because of the way they play and how direct they are and how much energy they've got, it always tends to get the better of the opposition. Hence, they beat City 4-0. Let's take a look. Recent fixtures. Yeah, they beat Man United 4-3 in the Cup. Chelsea got the better of them, but they did go 2-0 up in that game, Spurs, and then just threw it away. But yeah, when they're playing a Bournemouth or a Fulham, and you'd expect them to win, they can't get it done. Roma, not great this season, couldn't get it done. Yeah, lost to Ipswich, but then went and beat City 4-0 away. That is the definition of Spurs. So, Spurs-Liverpool, I'm actually going to go for a 2-2 draw, which would mean that Liverpool would be on 37 points with an 18 goal difference. Chelsea, if they beat Everton, like I say they will be on 37 points with a 19 goal difference. So, according to me, we will have new leaders by the end of these game fixtures. Let me know down below what your predictions are. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.